Good evening, good evening. Hey everybody, it's your girl Menina here with Legacy BookBar, and we are back with another episode of the Sip and Chat. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever, but I really just saw you guys last week, and we had an amazing episode of the DLP takeover where we had CEO and owner of Divine Legacy Publishing. We had Amanda Chambers. We had Nikki Charis. We had Arania. We had Rashida Jackson. We had our resident bad girl, Michelle Warren. And some of the ladies of DLP rocked the house last week, and we had over 500 views. That was an amazing episode last week. DLP is near and dear to our heart, so you know we will definitely have DLP back on the show again. And this time we're going to bring the fellas back to do the DLP Takeover Min Edition. This week, I have the honor of having Nichole Davis with me. Now, if everyone has been following Legacy BookBar on social media, you've seen the flyer that said, hey, if you be bold, be heard. If you want to tell your story, send us an email and I'll have you on the Sip and Chat. Nichole did that. She sent me a really nice email and I said, let me check my calendar. And lo and behold, I think she was the first to reply to that flyer. So she got the good spot and she is here tonight. Thank you so much, Nichole, for being a part of the Legacy BookBar Sip and Chat. How are you, darling?
I am good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
That's all we can do during this pandemic is hang in there. I'm excited to be on part of your show tonight.
Thank you so much. So it's just been crazy. You know, we're doing everything so differently nowadays because of COVID-19, and I am ready for COVID to be gone. So we can kind of get back out into the world.
I can't wait to start traveling.
Yes. So
yeah, I need to travel. I need traveling in my life.
I am with you. Today was a really big day for me. My daughter had her senior portraits taken today. So my baby was all glammed up, pictures taken, and I'm like, wait, I'm only 20. How can my daughter be graduating high school? But she is I call her the princess of Legacy BookBar. She is she's growing up on me. I don't know what to do. Oh, goodness gracious. What do you do? Just
you sound like me. Every year I turn 25, so I'll be 25 again this year.
Yes. Yes, I'm actually excited. Like I'm closer to 40 than I am to 20. And I'm like, I'm excited to turn 40, but then I realized that my kids are getting older, which means I am really getting older. And I'm like, but wait,
really getting older.
I'm really thinking when I hit 40, I'm just gonna stop and like we're just like don't get no older. Just stay fabulous at 40 and just be 40 forever.
Just be 40 forever. Just be 40. Right. Yeah, so I'm knocking on 40's door as well. And so my oldest turned 22 and I'm like, wait, how can you be 22 and I'm getting ready to turn 25?
Right, like that's that new math that's happening.
Yes.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So we're here with me. So I told you we're going to bring you on. And, you know, the whole purpose of the Sip and Chat is to give another platform for us to hear about our indie authors, to find out what brought you to this journey, what your do's, your don'ts, what brought you here. And, you know, with the world of technology, which is great because I'm a big fan of Amazon and tablets and being so, let me just download this book and keep going. But that kind of took the feel good away of having author hubs and having book signings. So we're trying to bring that, and when I say we, I mean Legacy we. We're trying to bring that back. And, we want to hear what our authors have to say. So, for our newer listeners that are tuning in tonight, I am the owner of Legacy BookBar. And Legacy BookBar is an online bookstore that caters to, but not exclusive, but definitely caters to our Black self-published authors in all genres. I am an avid reader of just books in any genres. And it was getting to the point where I couldn't find us. And it forced me to have to go to Amazon just to find, okay, what's new on Kindle Unlimited. But I want to go to a bookstore. I want to thumb the pages of a book. And I was very hard to find covers of people that look like me, look like my daughter, look like my son. And then the ones that they did have are the same core group. Where are the other authors? Like it's this world, clearly by the election, it's millions of people in this United States, and we have this itty bitty section in a bookstore, and we have this much of us that's represented in the store. That math didn't add up to me. I didn't like it at all. And on my journey of deciding what type of business I was going to open, Tyler Perry did an interview this is right when he opened up his huge studio in Atlanta. And he made a comment to say, I got tired of wanting to be included in Hollywood. So I decided to create my own studio, and then I can have the movies that I want to see represented. And that just clicked with me. Like, why am I'm tired of getting upset at the bigger chain bookstores. I'm going to create something. And I created Legacy BookBar. So here is why you're here, because the need for us is the need for you guys are here. Writing is not my ministry. I don't even want to go down that lane, but I know the need for you guys is here. In all genres, we have to be represented across the entire board, not just one shelf in a store. So instead of getting mad, I created my own store. And here we are today. So now when you go into the store, you'll see people like yourself. You'll see people like the ladies from DLP and one of the tens of authors that Legacy is currently holding. So this is why I have you here. I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, before I get into my book, I just want to touch on, something you said that there not many of us, when you go into bookstores, you really don't see a broad section of the people that look like us. And the reason that is because that is for, a lot of us that look like us, our people, we don't know about self-publishing as much as we need to know. A lot of times we wait on the traditional publishing, and they don't have books over our counterparts. So you're going to sit there and you're going to wait for years and years for them to look at your book versus us self-publishing our book or with a local publishing company that will get our books out there. So that is why we don't see many of us in these bookstores. So I take my hat off to you for creating the opportunity for us to be in a bookstore.
Thank you.
That I commend you for.
Thank you so much.
Journey, it was rough. It was tough. Because I don't have basically like the YA genre of a book. Typically, most books that come out or enter into that young adult section or just the fiction section of books. And, I love all of those. I love to read, period. My book is a nonfiction. It is actually my life story. It is my memoir. So the journey to get this book out was hard. It was rough. And my readers, they almost did not get the book. Reliving your life story, to tell it, to be raw, to be transparent for someone who needs to hear this story, it's a rough journey. It can take you in all the emotions at one time. And that's what it does for my readers as well. Like, you feel every single emotion. You're mad, you're sad, you're angry, you're hurting, everything. So it was rough. It was rough.
Okay. All right. What were some of the resources you used to write your book? And we're actually going to come back because we have you touched on self-publishing. We're definitely going to come back to that one because I have a question or two. I know my authors that are tuning in are like, she said the magic word, self-publishing. So we're gonna come back to that one.
Yes.
That seems to be, actually, you know what, we're gonna do that one now because that is the going trend. I know back in the day, we're not gonna put a timetable, we're just gonna say back in the day, people used to look down at authors that, self-published, like, you weren't good enough to get into traditional publish, like, so you just had to self-publish, right? But now more and more of us are self-publishing, going through smaller your local publishing companies, and they're realizing, like, wow, I'm retaining my rights, I'm retaining the essence of my story, and I'm self-published versus going the traditional
and you're actually getting your story out there.
Yep. So many people
because if you wait on the traditional, you may not get
you'll never get picked up. You'll never get picked up. So I am learning that Legacy is affiliated with 3 Black-owned self-publishing companies. Now, I've had authors come to me and say, you know, would you traditionally publish or would you self-publish? I am not a writer, so I can't tell you what to do with your work. I can just tell you that out of the authors that I have personally talked to, these were their pros and cons for whichever way they decided to go to. Now, Legacy, we have Divine Legacy Publishing, we have Mocha Memoirs Press, and we have Coma Publishing. All of them are Black women, successful, self-publishing their own companies, and they're also writers as well within their publishing companies. Out of the 3, one of them is traditionally publishing company, I should say. So, like I say, you get the best of both worlds, but you have to understand your market. You have to understand what is your responsibility and what's the publishing company's responsibility.
That's right.
Depending on which avenue you go to. And I will tell any author, do your research so you can have a good understanding, and don't be afraid to ask questions because you don't know. I am still learning, and I've been in this industry for 2 years now, and I am still learning every day something different. Like, I didn't know that, and I wouldn't. Let me jot that down so I'll have that for future reference. Learn your market. Understand your pros and cons. We have a couple of comments. We got Adia. Let's see. We have Donna Michelle Ramos says, I have anniversaries on my 21st birthday every year. Totally get that. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. That was about our earlier comment. Donna is a Legacy BookBar author. And she actually, I will be talking to her tomorrow. She will be on the website where we will be hosting her virtual book club tomorrow. So I can't wait to see her. Resident mom of Legacy BookBar. She says the math doesn't add up. I know. I'm 20 and my daughter's 18 and I don't know what to tell you. So there we go. We got,
new age math.
New age math. Yeah, I don't know what to say. We got Barbara Moore that says, good evening, ladies. Nothing better than the sport of reading a book in hand. I love to read and write. Oh, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Barbara Moore. And we have one of our authors, Indy Jones, says, evening, ladies. Hey, Indy, that's my girl there. She just had a new book that released early in
Hi.
January. We will be talking to her, and she had a birthday. I'm gonna give you a quick birthday shout out. Happy birthday, Indy! You had that birthday. I think it was yesterday. What's today? Friday, Wednesday. I think Wednesday. Don't kill me, but I know I said a happy birthday shout out on that day. But now we're on a sip and chat, so now you get another shout out. So happy birthday, and thank you so much for tuning in. So what was your deciding factor, Nichole, when you decided to self-publish? You still there? You with me? Oh, wait. I think she froze. There you go. Are you back? You with me? Nichole, are you still there? So for my viewers that are listening,
Can
you
you
might
hear
be
me?
having a little. I can now. There you go. Can you hear me?
I'm like, wait, I can't hear her. Where is she? Okay, so
Here
what
we
were you
go.
asking?
So I was saying, what was your deciding factor when you decided to self-publish your book?
I had went to a small publishing company, and it didn't pan out that well. I lost a lot of money, and so I just said I didn't want to lose money anymore. So I kind of have now created my own company. It's called Spread Your Wings Publication. So I published my first book with my company. So I look forward to building that and helping
Okay.
others who looking forward to self-publishing their book.
Okay. Okay. And as we know, it's always pros and cons, no matter which way you go. Just always do your research, understand your
Right.
contracts.
Mhm.
That is very key, no matter what you do. Tell people, where can they find your book?
So they can find my book on my website, which is www.acryforhelp.is. Also on there is a trailer, so you get a view of the book before you actually read the book. So
Ooh,
if
okay.
you're
We
gonna
love
look at it, do not look at it around little kids. It is not for little kids.
You heard that disclaimer, not for the little people.
Not.
Gotcha. So tell us, what's some of the things we can find in your book?
So it's a journey. You're gonna go on a journey with me. You're gonna go through the journey with me and my counselor, because of the traumatic experience I experienced at the age of 9. So I was raped by a family member, and my little self, I was not able to navigate the struggles in life, and so I was not able to become that grown woman until I healed that little girl, and so I went through a series of traumatic situations into my adulthood. And so I eventually needed counseling after I tried to drive myself off the cliff. And so once that took place, you journey with me, with my counselor, as she get to the root of the cause.
Deep. Okay. I think I want to read that book. And just that was deep. Oh my. Okay. I'm so sorry for what happened to you, which is it's so unfortunate because this seems to be a story amongst so many Black families just across
Yes.
the board. And it's always a family, a friend of the family or a direct family member. And I
Mhm.
commend you for, and all of them for finding a way to get out of that darkness and
Yes.
finding help and healing yourself. Because that travesty, I can't even imagine having to go through and then having to navigate it. It's tough when it happens when you're an adult. I can't imagine that as a child and
Mhm.
not understanding the why are you hurting me, and then can't process it growing up. So I commend you for being able to put that to paper and being able to tell that story, because I know that was probably just as traumatic having to
It was
relive. all of
having
that.
to relive everything because it's actually raw. Is nothing left out, is nothing added, is no oh, I'm gonna spice it up just so the readers understanding or they have some entertainment. No, it's none of that. You have the actual conversations between me and my counselor. You have me refusing to cooperate with her, and that's typical when you go to counseling. You don't want to tell your story because, especially in our households, we learned that what goes on in our household stays in our household. Is that beneficial for us? No. And that is why we have so many adults today that don't know how to navigate their struggles and their obstacles because we are too busy suppressing everything and we don't know how to express what's going on with us. And so you get that in there. You get that how I almost walked out and refused to heal. You get all of the details of my situation. You get those who turned their backs on me. You get my family. They called me the enabler. They said that I was the one that seduced him. So I spent my entire life thinking that it was me. It was my fault. I did it. I brought this on myself. So yes, it was very sad. It was very hard, and I almost didn't publish it. But writing is a healing mechanism, and I don't think people understand how much healing you get from when you start writing because you begin to release everything that you've been holding in for so long.
I've heard that a couple of the previous episodes of the Sip and Chat, we had some guests mention the same thing. They wrote a self memoir, and they said the same thing that you said, where it was healing for them. Definitely traumatic. They had to relive it, but once they got it out, that boulder off of their chest, that release. The relief that they felt after getting it out was so beneficial for them.
Right.
I tell anyone, if you're not a writer, at least go to therapy and get it out. Tell someone,
yes.
Just get it out. And then if you decide to write it, it's a lot of publishing companies out here that will take that story and help you get that story out, because unfortunately, so many of our brothers and our sisters and our brothers are living that same story. And maybe just reading your story will help them be able to tell their own or get out of situations like that.
Right. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to share the story as well, because we have so many silent sufferers out here, people that don't know how to overcome the situation. We all survive it, but you don't want to stay a survivor. You're not meant to stay a survivor. The Bible and the Psalms say we're more than conquerors. If we're meant to be more than conquerors, then we definitely are meant to be more than survivors, or we're definitely meant to be more than the victim. So, that's why I told my story, and I was very transparent with it, because I want you to know that even though you go through things, that journey is for you to overcome and help the next person.
That's so true. We got a couple of comments that said from Donna Michelle Ramos, writing can be very therapeutic. And then Karen said, writers say it's a catharsis to write their story. And it also can give much needed closure. That's what Donna came back to end with. I bet. So how did you, because I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So give us a little bit of the end. How do you end the story? No, I don't want to know how it ends, but I want to know how it ends. I really don't want to know. I know. I'm crazy.
Look, now, I'm sorry. You're going to have to get the book to find out how it ends. No. So the ending is me telling my why. It is my why. I think that's very important to have your why. Why are you telling your story? Are you telling your story for attention? Are you telling your story for clout? Are you telling your story just so that you can have a book to be an author? I told my why is to help somebody else. If I just help one person, I felt like I've done my job. If I can just help one person become an overcomer, I've done my job. And so I tell my why at the end, why God allowed it to happen is what I talk about. Because the subtitle of the book is Who Wins When You're in a Battle with God, Satan, and Yourself.
Mm.
So I tell
Wow.
why God allowed it to happen.
That is deep. That is deep. So, are people that are listening, are they able to purchase your books on Amazon or just direct
They
from
are.
your website? Okay.
It is on Amazon. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So I know later on, when the broadcast is over, I want you to go ahead and drop that website into the comment section so people will be able to find you. Are you also on social media?
I am on social media. I am Facebook and Instagram at I am Nichole Davis.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So we have your headshot as well. We'll get your book cover and we'll post on Instagram on our pages for you so people can go and try to find your book. Since you were a guest tonight on our show, we just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to purchase books wherever they seem fit. Of course, we would always love for them to be able to purchase through Legacy BookBar, but the goal is to get the authors heard. And this is why we're here tonight. And hopefully our next sets of guests, they'll all have the same experience, more readers, more viewers to their social media pages. Because, of course, the more you know, the more you share, the more keeping it in the community and helping that fellow author. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So when did you decide, give us a time frame, when did you really decide I'm going to tell this story?
Ooh, so it's been in the works for over a year. So I would say probably like 3, maybe 4 or 5 years after canceling, I decided to share it with the world. Because I don't think that if I just shared it with the world before I went through canceling, I don't think it would have been as beneficial as it is now. I think that healing needed to take place before I shared it with the world.
Okay. So did you talk to your counselor and let them know that you were gonna put all of this out there for the world to see and write the book? What was their thoughts?
She actually encouraged it. She was the one that said that I had a powerful story that needed to be told and help to somebody else. And she said the same thing that you did. You know, it's so many women, especially from our communities, that have this story inside of them, that have this situation. They didn't know how to tell anyone. They didn't know how to talk about it because we weren't allowed to. And so it's a lot of young girls, it's a lot of young women, and their behaviors are put off as they have a nasty attitude, or for kids they're just bad. But you're not understanding what takes place in your life or the child's life once situation that they go that changes your whole than you did before the situation happened.
Gotcha. Okay. So hopefully our listeners here tonight are gonna start following you on social media. They're gonna go to Amazon and purchase this book of yours. You are always a family guest of the family friend here with Legacy BookBar. So we are gonna be watching for that next book to come out, because I'm pretty sure you got another one in the fingertips of yours, and it's gonna be a gold mine. So we cannot wait to see it. Oh wait, did I lose you again? To my listeners, please hold. I think we're having some slight technical difficulties. So wait. There you go. Are you back?
I'm back.
There we go. So,
Lord.
So guys, this is what business owners, we kind of have to deal with. This whole world of COVID. Everything is virtual. Everything is technology based. And then sometimes you just have some small hiccups. some small hiccups. So thank you so much for staying tuned and just bearing with us as we deal with these slight hiccups. Thank you so much.
Lord.
So I ask all of my guests, because all of my guests are fabulously gifted and talented, and the stories that they have to tell definitely deserves to be heard. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to get more books out of you, maybe not necessarily in the same genre, but who's to say? And, our kids or kids are going to be hopefully picking up the mantle of our legacy that we're leaving. And after putting your journey to paper and going over your life, you'll sit back at 75, 80, and you'll look back and you'll ask yourself, Nichole, what did I want my legacy to be? Answer that for us.
So, what did I want my legacy to be? I wanted my legacy to be the woman who broke her silence.
So we heard the woman that broke their silence. What did you say after that?
Oh, no, that's it. The woman who broke her silence.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Poignant. I like it. I like it. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on the latest episode of the Sip and Chat. Just hang out with me for a little bit. We have some amazing news to share with our listeners here with Legacy BookBar. So, guys, I'm always trying to create something new, something different, trying to do the best that I can to make sure that our authors have a voice. So for those that weren't here at the beginning of the segment, I stated how there were flyers that I posted on social media that said, "Be bold, be heard." And it's an all call to Black authors. If you have a story that you have told, you have a book that you wrote, please email us at legacybookbar.com with the header Sip and Chat. And let us know that you have a story and you want to share it here on the Sip and Chat. We are looking to have any and everyone to be able to have a chance to tell their story. So be like Nichole. Don't be afraid to send that email and let us know that you want us to talk. And we'll gladly have you on our Sip and Chat. Let's see. We have Indy Jones said, "You aren't trying, you're doing Black History 365." Girl, I am not gonna cry, and I did my makeup, but thank you so much. I love her to pieces. Thank you. Tomorrow is the first book club of the year. So we have Chocolate in the City, that is written by author Donna Michelle Ramos. She was on, hopefully she's still here, but she was commenting a little bit early. We are going to talk with her and friends and families and anyone that has bought the book Chocolate in the City that wants to ask her the burning questions they have about her book. Let her tell it. It is a cross between Sex in the City and Girls Trip with a little bit of flavor to it. We, of course, have her book here. So if you purchased her book, please feel free to go to www.legacybookbar.com and join the discussion on the online book club page and join us at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. March is, you blink and it will be here in March. So those that were here last week, you saw Nikki Charis here, and her book, A Twisted Love, is our March book of the month. So you can purchase this book as well as Chocolate in the City at legacybookbar.com. Any books that we're going to talk about this evening outside of Nichole's book can be purchased at legacybookbar.com with the hashtag pop-up and get 10% off your order. So I gave you February and March, right? Guess what? Your girl has decided to get back to the mall, and we're going to host these pop-ups as safely as we possibly can. So if you are in the DMV area and you are familiar with the White Marsh Mall, please feel free to come out on the 28th and come see me, as well as all of the books that are on my website, and come see us at the mall and purchase a book or several books from any of the wonderful authors that we have here. Donna Michelle, Indy Jones, who do I have? Author Serendipity. I have Aranias. It's a host of them. To date, we have 25 signed authors signed to the store. So, fun fact, Legacy BookBar, Black owned, Black female, right? More than 75% of the authors are self-published. Legacy BookBar is affiliated with 3 Black-owned, female-owned publishing companies. So when I tell you, do not think that, oh, no one will pick up my story, there's nowhere to go. That is a lie. Don't do that to yourself. They are out there. You probably have so many in your own communities that you don't even know about. But it's okay, because I am here and I will guide you to the right direction. Remember, Legacy does not publish, but we are affiliated with 3 and we can point you in the right direction. So never fear if you want your story in print. Now that leads me to a huge event that we just posted the other day. So go back in time with me. November 1st was our 1-year anniversary. We had that amazing book summit that we did virtually. The last segment was Author Serendipity, Amanda Chambers. We had Indy Jones, we had Nicole Kurtz, and we had Kate Bailey. Now, these 4 women, in some form or fashion, either they own their own publishing companies, or they work directly with traditional publishing companies, or they were editors in some form or fashion. So we decided to have them on, and they told us the nitty-gritty of the publishing world. We got so many comments on that section, that segment alone. I said, we have to put together this, we have to put together a webinar. We have to do something, because there's so many authors that were commenting that, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Why didn't anyone tell me? I heard that. So with the help of Indy Jones, with the help of Amanda Chambers, with the help of Nicole Kurtz, we are creating a Discovering Your Publishing Path webinar. That will be April the 3rd, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register directly on www.legacybookbar.com and hear what these ladies have to say. If you want to know why your publisher did this, why in Nicole's case, that publishing company, it didn't work, find out the do's, the don'ts, the hows, the whys of their thinking process when they get these manuscripts in their hands. You're going to want to register to this event. We have some amazing swag gifts for people that are joining and registering. So you want to make sure that you are in that top section, because guess what? Our publishers are amazing. We got some great giveaways, and when we get closer to the day, we'll start letting people know what those gifts are. But you're going to want to register, and you'll want to register as soon as possible. So remember, go to www.legacybookbar.com, Discovering Your Publishing Path, hosted by me with panelists Amanda Chambers, Nicole Kurtz, and Indy Jones. You are not going to want to miss this amazing event. So for those that were with me last week, you heard the amazing news. Everyone that knows me personally knows I have a top 5 of favorite, absolute, go die for authors. Lo and behold, the top favorite will be at our virtual book club in June. So for those that follow Beverly Jenkins and have read numerous of her books, either historical romance or modern day romance, she will be at our virtual book club in June. And we'll actually be talking about her book, Bring on the Blessings, that we affectionately call Bob 1. So if you have not purchased that book, but you are a fan of Beverly Jenkins, or hey, why not hear from USA Today Romance Writer of the Year, Beverly Jenkins, who, guess what, looks like us. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your book in hand, questions in hand, and you'll get to meet the most fabulous Beverly Jenkins. We have some new books to share. So what do we have? Didn't have tweens, but now we have tweens. So for those that have tween boys, tween girls, I'm going to show you a couple of the book covers that just came in stock. Yes, Indy Jones said you scored with Miss Jenkins. Child, that was a wing and a prayer. You have no idea. It was a 50-50 shot. I'm going to shoot my shot. Everyone that knows me knows I ain't never scared to shoot that shot. We never know what might happen. And we got her in here. So you're going to want to make sure that you are in the house for that one. So back to our tweens. We have this book in stock. This is great. First off, let me tell you, this book has some weight to it. I was very shocked. Like, I knew what I ordered, but it's one of those I didn't know what I ordered. And then I got the book and was like, wait. So I'm actually excited. This is on my to be read list. But, you know, I'm pretty sure we've been in the house for over almost a year now. Your tweens have probably read through everything that they've already had. Guess what? Come to Legacy Book Bar and let's see what they haven't read and let's support our Black authors. We have The Usual Suspects. Now, of course, for those that are in that age bracket over 40, you kind of remember the movie The Usual Suspects. I thought this was so cute, and I was like, I'm just going to get it just because of the movie. I'm silly like that. This is what I do. But it's really cute, and it's a series, so you're going to want to get this. Now, this one I also think is for my boys, but you never know after the shot drops. What happens? You do that, throw up that last layup, you make it. What happens when the ball drops? We don't know. But if you get the book, you can find out. And where can you get the book, everyone? LegacyBookBar.com. So you heard me a little bit earlier talking about our 3 publishers that are going to be hosting with me the Discovering Your Publishing Path. So I know you're like, but they're publishers. I'm like, but they're publishers and they're authors. So they have a seat on both sides of the table. But did you not think I would have their books to show you? Of course not, silly rabbit. I have their books. So, of course, with Author Serendipity / Amanda Chambers, we have her book 1 of her series, Embers Flame. That slow heat that came off this book right here, you're going to want to get that. And right around Valentine's, it's cold. You want to snuggle up with nice hot toddy and a nice blanket with that, or the weighted blanket. You're going to want to get this book. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this book was so good. And it ends on a cliffhanger. Guess what? We got book 2 because we got Rock and Cheyenne in the house. And you're going to want to purchase that. So don't forget, everything you see here, you can purchase at, say it again with me, people, legacybookbar.com. Make sure you get that, okay? Still with me? Because guess what? Now, Indy Jones is running the house at Legacy Book Bar with the sci-fi fantasy section. You know, she's amazing. Her covers are to die for. People to this day email me and be like, who did her covers? That's a question you have to ask the author. I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't think she wants me to tell, but you have to ask her. I don't know, but she's fabulous and I just love it. And I'm a fan, and I hope she's not going to be mad if I text her at 11 o'clock again and be like, oh, girl, this book. I'm probably going to do it, but she loves me and she'll just laugh at me and we'll keep it moving. It's great. But we have A Queen's Pride, which is book 1 of the Feline Nation. This book had me texting her 4 times in a row. She probably thought I was a stalker, but she realized I really, really loved her book, right? Because that's what I do, because I go hard for my authors because I'm a fan and I read everything. This is what I do here, right? Then, of course, we got my girl Nichole over there in North Carolina with the Soul Cages. Now, I reached out to her because I've researched everything, and I'm like, Black-owned publishing companies, where can I find them? Where are they? I think I kind of cyber stalked Indy Jones to find her books, but she loves me, so she let it go. Cyber stalked a little bit Nichole too, but she loves me. This is why we hear people, because they love me. Nichole, I was like, what books do you have? And I'm on her website and we're talking, and she writes paranormal and horror. And I was like, but wait, I don't have any horror books because, you know, Legacy Book Bar, we cater to self-published authors. And I'm like, I'm trying to build the build the inventory. And I'm like, but horror. Blacks write horror stories, but we're fabulous, so we write everything. Talk to her. Mocha Memoirs Press sent me a ton of books. So this is her book. You're going to want to make sure you go to legacybookbar.com and see the other 6 book titles that are from Mocha Memoirs Press. And this is one of I want to say 2 books that we're carrying that's written specifically by Nicole Kurtz, publisher and CEO of Mocha Memoirs Press. So, still with me? Everyone's still there? You guys are great. So, we have new authors. We have to highlight our new authors because this is why they're here. They're here for us. We want to make sure that we highlight them. So, we're going to highlight Miss Shertane Jones, which is from DLP. DLP is running it. This is our 10th author from DLP in the house. Thank you, Shertane. We also have Nadonna Gray. No, I'm sorry, Navonda Garrett. You're going to kill me. Sorry. But Navonda, here's your book. I have it in stock. We actually showed her book last week. She's also from DLP. And we also have Javonda. We have your book. It's here. Hey, everybody. These authors are great. They're talented. The stories deserve to be read. They deserve to be bought by you. They deserve to be at book clubs. Support, support, support. Everyone was on this whole kick of Black dollars and keeping it in the community. This is how we do it. We show our support to our artists. Authors are nothing but artists. They just write their words instead of singing them. So you're going to want to make sure that you support them. They are here for us. They all have a story to tell. One of our latest ones, we have Larissa and Sherry. These dynamic duo here in Maryland have their book. They have a 30-day devotional. So, hey, if anybody wants to read and write and jot their notes down and get their thoughts out, here is a good book for you. Now, ND, she know I got you, because guess what? Remember earlier I showed you Queen's Pride, right? Guess what's here? Book 2. That's a little, if you old school, you know Arsenio. I can't do it, but just go with me because you kind of know what it is. But here is book 2 of A Feline Nation. Let me tell you, I was so excited, not as an owner excited, as a fan excited for this book because she gave it to me in the first one. I knew she was going to bring all the fire, all the heat, all the everything to book 2. And yes, she did. This story, cannot wait. ND Jones, I want to say, has 8 book titles in Legacy BookBar. When I tell you my authors are legit, my authors are legit. And then the latest book we have are our children's books. And we have these. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Representation for our brown boys and girls is key. We want to make sure that our babies, our tweens, our teens, our young adults, our men, our women are represented in a positive light. That is key and paramount in why I do what I do here at Legacy BookBar. So if you are an author and you are looking for more exposure, or your dream has always been in a bookstore, please, please, please reach out to me at legacybookbar.com. If you are looking to support and you're like, what can I do? You can always purchase any one of the books here at Legacy BookBar. We have some amazing and talented authors. We have some amazing events that we are hosting, we are a part of. You're going to want to make sure that you are here and ride this train with us because we're not going anywhere. We are here and we are here for you. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone. Indy, I see your comment. You treat your authors well. If you are an author looking for a home for your books, Menina Bush of Legacy BookBar is the best. Check her out. I am determined not to cry, and she is determined to make me cry. But it's okay. It's not going to happen today. But thank you so much. Indy Jones said she would love to buy Nicole's book. Her book is on Amazon. Nichole, really quickly, what is that title of your book?
It's a cry for help. Who wins when you're in a battle between God, Satan, and yourself?
Yes, yes. So you can purchase that book on Amazon or direct on her website. Please make sure that you are following her on all of her social media platforms. Make sure you're following Legacy Book Bar on all their social media platforms. And remember, our episodes going forward are streaming live to Facebook and YouTube. So the world now knows what you guys are doing. You guys are fabulous. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back here next Friday with another episode of the Sip and Chat. Make sure you guys tune in. You guys have a safe night, and I will catch you back next week for the Sip and Chat. Good night, guys. Thank you so
Good
much for
night.
tuning in.
Thank you.
Good night.